Hello and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hi, my name is Mary and welcome to another Craft Day Wednesday, where every Wednesday I post a new video. In today's video, I'm going to be making a Valentine's gnome, and I decided to make her a female. This video was requested by a subscriber, so thank you for requesting this video. So basically this is going to be pretty simple. So what you're going to need for the base of the body is I am going to be using the top part of a plastic soda bottle. This is from a 12-ounce Coca-Cola bottle. What I did was I cut the bottle in half. I kept the top part and put a piece of cardboard on the bottom because this is going to be the body. You're also going to be needing socks. You're going to be needing felt. I went with red and pink. Those are two of the colors that I decided to use. You're going to be needing a styrofoam ball. I have it here. I have it cut in half. I have a smaller one for the nose, also cut in half. You're going to be needing the baby shower favorite shoes, any color that you want, and you're going to be covering those in felt. Also, and it's totally up to you, you're going to be needing yarn. If you decide to give your gnome hair, if you decide to make a female and give her hair, you're going to be needing yarn. And I am going to go ahead now and just get into the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my styrofoam head that I have here, and you're just going to make a little indent and push this in. But I've already got one done. I went ahead and covered my gnome's head with hair. I gave her pink and white yarn hair with pom-poms. Those are her ponytails. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and we're just going to stick this down on here, and we're going to let that dry. We're going to take some glue. So what you're going to do is put some hot glue right around the rim of the bottle. You're going to take your gnome head and you're just going to stick this right on here just like that. And I'm just going to hold this here a bit and let that dry. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of hot glue right up in here just to secure everything. And while that's drying, I'm just going to set this here and we're going to let that continue to dry. So while that's drying, I am going to go ahead and show y'all how I made her hair. So, and I've done this in several videos already. I just took my cardboard and I took my yarn and I just wrapped it around as many times as you feel like. So what you're going to do, you're going to wrap it around. And I'm not going to do it as many times because it would take too long. But you're going to wrap it. You're going to grab your scissors. You're going to cut that in half. You're going to open it up like this. And then you're going to take another piece of yarn and you're going to tie it off. And then you will end up with it looking like this. And I've got a video on how I did my pom-poms. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to check this and see if it's dry. I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. And then we're going to come to the shoes. I've already went ahead and covered my shoes in felt. It's the same baby shower shoes that I've used in previous videos, where I just covered it in felt, and I went ahead and did mine because every video that I have on of gnomes, I covered it, you know, I've done these the exact same way. So I decided to go ahead and do these off camera. Now, for her little leggings or pants or whatever you want to call them, I went ahead and took my sock and I cut it right above the heel, just like this. And then you want to make sure you got this even, and you want to cut it up the middle. So once you cut it up the middle, you want to flip it over on inside out. And what you want to do is take your hot glue gun, and you're just going to put a layer of hot glue, and then you're going to flip it over, and you're going to let it dry. And once you get it dry, you're going to flip it back on the right side, and this is what you're going to end up with. So also, I don't know if I mentioned this, but you're going to need the flexible curling rods that you can get at Dollar Tree. I'm just going to go ahead and cut mine down a bit. And I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the bottom here, like that. Close that. We're going to do the same thing. You're going to put a little bit of hot glue here. Going to go ahead and close it. And we're just going to go ahead and take this and stick this down off in that sock. I'm going to grab 2 more. I think I may have cut those a bit on the short side, but that is fine. I'm going to cut them again, but not so. I'm just going to cut off a little bit. There we go. So I'll smooth that out the way. And now we're just going to go ahead and take our rod, and we're going to stick it right through the shoe. Going to put a little bit of hot glue here just to secure that in place. You're going to do the same thing to this one. You're going to drop that in place. And we're going to go ahead, stick this in just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead, and I'm going to put some hot glue down off in the shoe. And we're going to go ahead and stick this down off in there, just like that. And I'm just going to tuck all of it down off in there. And we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Set that there. We're going to bring this. Grab some hot glue, stick that down off in there. Take your rod, and we're just going to tuck this. Push this down off in there, just like that. So this is what we have so far. I'm going to turn this around. So here we have, which is going to be her legs. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off a little bit. There. Right there. Put a little bit of hot glue in just to seal these ends up. Just like this. Be very careful that you don't burn your fingers. Set that to the side. Gonna go ahead and do the same thing to this one. Put a little bit of hot glue in. Now, this is optional. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. But I have this fluffy yarn, and I think it would be cute if I just take a little bit and put it around the boot. So it looks like that. So I'm just gonna go ahead, take my hot glue, and we're just gonna go around the base of, so let's pull this back. So we're just going around just like this, and we're gonna glue this in place. So stick that there, and we're gonna do the same thing to both, just like that. Gonna go ahead, cut off this extra piece. There's one. Now let's do the same thing to the other one. And the reason I like to use the flexible curling rods is because you can bend and adjust the legs and arms in any position that you want to. That way, if you want your gnome to be holding something, you can easily adjust the arms with the flexible curling rods so they can, you know, hold whatever it is that you want them to be holding. So now I'm just going to cut this off. And we have both the legs done. So now I'm going to bring her back. And I am going to go ahead and take this part of her hair that and I'm just going to stick that right here. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take the nose, and we're just going to cover that in a piece of felt. And you can use any color felt of your choice. So all I'm doing is I'm just going to take my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to put a little bit of hot glue right on the ball, which will be the nose. And we're going to go all the way around. And we're just going to go ahead and cover this. And this is how I do my noses. I sometimes use beads if I have them on hand, but I don't. So I have to work with what I got. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and cut off the extra felt. So now that we have the extra felt cut off, you're going to pick a spot where you want the nose to be. Let's cut this off. And I'm going to put mine here. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here. And we're just going to stick that right on with a little bit of glue, extra glue, to hold everything together. And we're just going to let that dry. Meantime, while that's drying, we're going to go ahead and work on the arms. So what I did for her arms is I took the sleeves off of one of my old toddler shirts, and we're going to use that for her shirt. So what you need to do is, if you're going to be using the flexible curling rods, you're going to want to take your flexible curling rods and you're going to fold it in half, and then you're going to cut it in half. And when you cut it in half, you're going to end up with a piece like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to put a little bit of hot glue right down, and we're going to go ahead and roll that around the flexible rod, because this is going to be her arms. So I'm just going to continue to roll. Once you get it rolled, you're going to go ahead and take your hot glue and you're just going to secure it. This way it don't unroll on you. And if you hear that chopper, it's just a medical emergency chopper over the house. We're not too far from the hospital, so that's probably what you're hearing. So now we have our arms. So now that the nose is glued in place, we're going to go ahead and take the sleeve of the shirt, and I'm just going to stretch this a bit so we can get it to go over her head. Or if you can't get it that way, you can go ahead and put it on from the bottom. And that's probably what I'm going to have to do, because she got too much hair. So we're going to go in from the bottom, and we're just going to pull up. And it helps if we turn this on the right side out. So let's take this back off. We're going to flip it, and we're going to make sure that the seam is to the back. So you're just going to pull it over like this, And we're just going to pull it up. And I'm just going to fold it over to give her a turtleneck look. And we can go all the way up if you like. You can bring it up like this. So that way there's nothing on her face showing. Since they're supposed to have their eyes covered, or however you want to do it. But I'm going to go ahead and tuck mine here. I'm going to pull it up a bit. Just like this. And I'm just going to tuck it. And I'm going to go ahead and secure it. So I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue here. A little bit here. Pull that up. And a little bit here. So this is what we have so far. And since I want her to have extra hair to cover the white, I'm going to go ahead and go in with this, like this. So we're just going to go ahead, put some hot glue right directly on top of the styrofoam ball. And you're going to go and push this right down on top, just like that. And we're just going to hold this here a bit. And you can just pull her hair over so it looks like this. So this is what we have so far. This is what she's looking like. And then we're going to trim her up a bit. So I'm going to grab my scissors. And I'm just going to go ahead and just cut a little bit. Not much. And cut here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I am going to bring my little block that I have here, because this is what my gnome is going to be sitting on. So I'm just, and it's going to be one that sits on the desk. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it over. So I'm just going to put this like this, and I'm just going to stick it down so I can see about where I want her to be positioned. So it'll look something like this. And I'm going to go ahead and glue her legs down in place. And she will be one that sits on the side. And I'm just going to stick it right here just like this. And we're going to do the same thing to the other one. I'm just going to bring it, and her legs dangle. And we're just going to go ahead, put a little bit of hot glue down right on top. Going to go ahead, stick this down on here. We're going to hold this a bit and let that dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue, okay? Now, I'm going to set that there. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and do her arms. So we have her arms here. I'm just going to go ahead, fold her arms up in any position that you like. And we're going to tuck her arm right under her hair. So we're just going to stick that here. So we're just going to go ahead and put an arm here. So you're going to put some hot glue there. I'm going to stick her arm right there. Just like this. I'm going to hold this here a bit. Let that dry. And then we're going to come to the other side. Fold her arm up. And put her arm, I'm going to go ahead and stick mine right here. So we're going to put some hot glue right here. And we're just going to hold that. And we're going to let that dry. Try not to burn your fingers or anything else. So this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach her here so it'll look like this. So what we're going to do is we're just going to grab our hot glue gun, and you're basically just covering this entire base. And you want to use a good amount of glue so that way when we put her down, she don't come off. So now what we're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take her and you're going to stick her right down on top, just like this. And I'm going to hold her here and let her dry. So basically what we're doing is just letting her dry. And she will set. She's going to set on the corner of a table or something of that nature. So this is what she looks like from the back. And here she is from the front. And I'm just going to go ahead and adjust her arms a little bit. I feel like I got them up a little high. And at the same time, I'm going to hold this here and let this dry. So I'm just going to hold this and let this dry. So this is what we have. And here she is. And yeah, that's it for this video. We are done with her. She sits on the end of a table. So yeah, here she is again from the back. Here she is from the front. I'm going to set her here. And that is it for this video. If you like this video, please give me a like and a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to become part of my YouTube family. And with that being said, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch one of my videos. It really means a lot. And if there's any other type of videos that y'all want to see, please let me know. I do hauls, I do Q&As, I do a little bit of everything. If that's something that y'all want to see, please let me know in the comment box and down below. And once again, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye.